Welcome back to the MartiniWorks Podcast. We're all done with Black Friday and Cyber Monday. We don't have any 12 days of Christmas or anything like that. But welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you snagged something for your car at MartiniWorks.com. And if you haven't yet and you're still looking for car parts, you can do so. MartiniWorks.com. It's that time of the year, though, where we get to talk about the most important thing, and that is our future projections on what 2025 is actually going to look like in the car scene. Dakota, do you have any ideas on like what sort of car trends you think we're going to see in 2025?
Yeah, so we went to Gatlinburg, we went to SEMA, and I feel like those are always like the biggest feelers of what's going to be coming for the next year. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if people are going to love it or hate to hear it, but I really think SUVs are going to continue to take over the space, especially as aftermarket parts become more and more available. I can't believe how many modified SUVs I've seen this year.
It's nuts because we went out, we have an unbox channel as well, MartiniWorks Unbox, where we unbox products. It's a very simple formula. And we did the Rohana RFX 19 and the video like blew up. Everybody's talking about this wheel, which looks really dope. The amount of comments where people were like, hey, will this fit my Q5? Hey, will this fit my new Ford SUV? Hey, will this fit a Tesla? Like the amount of questions that are more like they're not tuner cars, they're not M3s or M5. They're like, hey, will this fit my Toyota? You know, like it's a really interesting thing that you bring up because I do think some folks are getting a little older and they want to have something that's just gonna get from point A to point B.
Absolutely. And it's not like overlandy SUVs. People are doing these up like car show car
it's wild.
SUVs. And I seen some that I liked. I thought that looked pretty dang good. But
Audi folks did it first.
Yeah. It's always been around,
Q5
right?
Stuff,
People have been begging those SUVs and stuff, especially like the Volkswagens too. I think the Euro community has been on that. Mm-hmm. But because SUVs have become so like every manufacturer is prioritizing SUVs.
Yeah,
it's just like
if that's all they're going to give us, might as well make the most out of it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, they're even getting bigger trims. You have like the Edge ST and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're no slouches. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, obviously it's a big car and it's more like economical, but like, you know, they're putting some fun stuff in the Trackhawks. I mean, you know, they're pretty sick.
I think the biggest trend we're going to see is maybe not like the best trend, but more odd platforms like coming back into the swing of being modified, because I've seen on TikTok like TikTok ran through what YouTube ran through in like 2 years versus 10 years. Like, you know, the YouTube trend where it was like everybody kind of did the basic cars, the simple cars, and then it got more and more and more and more aggressive and crazy. I just watched a 6-minute video, went through it, of somebody building like a brand new G80 M3 in one TikTok video.
That's fucking crazy.
It's nuts to me. 1 6-minute video built the whole car in it. And I'm like, holy
I can't keep up.
Shit. You can't, you can't beat that, right? But I'm seeing a lot of people now starting to like make a little bit of a different splash by modifying weird stuff like Maseratis and Alfa Romeos and weird Nissans and stuff that they found from Japan and like K-trucks. And I'm starting to see that pop up. And I think hopefully it doesn't pan out poorly for folks, but I think you're going to see more like weird stuff getting modified just to like stick out a little bit.
I want to see more vans, like dope old vans.
Yes.
Japan has it on lock.
I know.
And anything that starts over there gets over here. So I think we might be getting closer, especially since like, I don't know, importing cars I feel like has been so normalized too, where like you go back 5-10 years ago and it was like you maybe knew like one person that imported a car and you were like, that's crazy, that thing's insane. Now it's like you know a few people that have imported
it's
cars.
Like I've seen quite a few up here now even and like that's like super cool to see because back in the when I was first getting into cars you never really saw that. So that's super cool. I would love a van. Love an old van.
You think vans are going to come back in 25 or what do you think is your trend?
I think it's going to kind of go with like the SUV stuff, like whether it's like newer like van stuff like the Odysseys and things like that, but there's some like really dope like obscure old stuff like that from like back in like the 90s and early 2000s that I think you can get your hands on. And even like body kits, like you can get like a Prevea like body kit or Previa body kit, like they're really dope. It's just like the coolest looking thing.
The thing I worry about with trends is like a lot of times people will jump into that and they jump into it not really knowing like the full
it's tough
issues, and it's like, dude, you buy something from overseas, you buy something from Japan, And if there's no like US equivalent, you have to get really familiar with like Yahoo auctions really goddamn quick. Otherwise, you are going to have another project car in your garage broken with absolutely no idea on how to even get the part, let alone fix it. Because some of that stuff is super weird.
Yeah. I think, and this might just be me hoping, but I mean, I've seen a couple of things of it now where like those early 2000s cars are making like a comeback. And like maybe like the late 90s, like I want to see like the 2G Eclipse come back like swinging, like the 3000 GTs come back swinging, like Cobalt SSs, SRT4s, like give those things like another chance, but like do them like really
Now
good.
this guy's speaking my language.
Yeah.
And we are right on the cusp of
Yeah.
that. And I was curious. I don't know if it's going to be this coming year, but we got to be close because everything kind of goes in that cycle, right? You have like vinyl. All of a sudden that blows up and gets super popular. And then you had like flip phones and that was the rage. And then it got really weird. And then they started bringing them back. So I have a feeling too, early 2000s cars, I mean, early 2000s, we're already getting 20 years old on those
crazy.
things.
Yeah.
So that's going to start coming back, I think, soon. That's a good call out.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
I think the next thing after like the C5, C6 craze, Pontiac.
Like the
The
G8s and the GTOs.
Dude, I'm telling you, they're like 5 years away.
I remember that was like a big thing for a while. I'd say in like 2016, I feel like I saw a surge of like the G8s
Yeah.
like kind of come back.
And the Holden.
Yeah, it was
versions.
like when Chevy did like the SS, people were like, damn, this is really cool. And everyone's like, yeah, they've been kind of doing that for a minute now and y'all hated it.
Dude, if you ever want to upset a group of people, you can upset them by saying that it's a Pontiac G8 or a Chevy SS to the global audience, because it's not. To them, it's a Commodore or it's a Holden that's part of a chassis that was founded and created in Australia, and then it was brought to America.
Sure. What's the
as
title say?
SS.
What's the title say?
I know. I'm just saying, every single time I talk about the Chevy SS,
It's Holden.
well, also, I think Australians are just constantly pissed. So no matter what it is that they're doing, there's
I think
swear
they just-
words in every
I think
sentence.
they just seem that way. They're fine.
Are you sure? I don't know. Like, you put a Midwestern guy and
only
an
know-
Australian in one room, and it is the most polar opposite behaviors of like how people talk
I only
ever.
know 2 Australians. They were both nice.
Well, Harco's nice,
Yeah.
right? But like, you ever hear an Australian go off on something?
You think Corvettes are going to die out? Because they've been crazy popular. And
I think it'll definitely. I think it'll
has
get
it
even
peaked?
more.
Or you think it's going to
gonna
keep
get
going
more.
up?
Yeah, it's gonna
Okay.
get more.
I think it will reach its peak when you start seeing people doing like period correct parts and full on like restorations and stuff. That's when you know it's peaked. The R34 has peaked. When you've got Larry Chen going down to like chassis metal and re-welding stuff and repainting stuff and taking every single component off the car to make it like the perfect example and document it, that's peak. Like the GTR cannot go anywhere else. It's
Yeah.
done.
I hope not. That shit's like fucking over 200 grand for a 90s car.
Well, it's the same thing with Porsche. Like, you can't do any more with the 993 or like a 997. That's why so many people are jumping into the 996, because it's the one chassis that everyone hated for so long that it's the only chassis people can do stuff with where it doesn't feel like the same. And so people are like, oh, I bought a 996 turbo. No, these aren't ugly. They're trying to like change what the community thinks of them. And honestly, the community's like, honestly, I agree, because a 993 is $1 billion and a 997 is now $150,000. Yeah, the 996 is kind of cool. I'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I think.
Justifying it.
You have to, otherwise everything's way too expensive.
You did it before it was cool.
You guys have to let us know what you think is the top car trend for 2025 in the comments below. And of course, if you think we're completely wrong, let us know.
I'm sure you will.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're looking for car parts, you can just get over that Martini. You're going to go get your car parts at MartiniWorks.com.
It sounded like me for a second.
I know. Even if we've got the homie hookups, we've got all the deals. And of course, if you have questions on building your car, you can just shoot us a message. Chris would be happy to help. And of course, let us know if we're missing stuff. I'm going through the website and sometimes I'm like, where the hell is this?
We got a lot of parts.
Yeah, we can
to
get
add.
you guys anything too. So shoot us a message if you're looking for something you don't see it. Just send us a message. We'll help you get it.
Beautiful. Now, with that said, we're going to continue on. 2025 is a pretty crazy year. Do you think it's going to be better than 24 in terms of like grocery shopping not being a kick in the balls, or do you think like is it gonna stay the
real
same?
question
That's a
is
terrible
if
analogy,
you're
but you know what I
getting-
mean.
Yeah, if you're getting into that, like I feel like it's almost a little bit political.
I'm not trying to make it political.
I
I'm
think
just
from
saying.
a car enthusiast perspective, what we need to be somewhat nervous about is our car parts going to go up in price just due to tariffs
Yeah.
being put
A lot
in
of
place.
talk about
Do you
that.
think you'll see a big surge in prices coming into this year?
I mean, it won't be the first time that we saw that. 'cause
Right.
that
It's happened before.
It happened a couple years ago, especially with like the wheels and stuff, the aluminum costs and everything like that definitely skyrocketed. And I remember we had to deal with that at our previous life, and it was like a big thing. I mean, tried to
Well, it
make the
changed
best
a
of it.
lot.
Yeah, it changed
Yeah.
a lot. It increased a lot of those prices that we saw.
I remember the worst part about that was trying to convince people that it was tariffs and not our shitty marketing.
Right.
And that was
Yeah, a lot of people just
That-
thought it was greed.
Yeah.
yeah, that was terrible because like what ended up happening was the first time it happened was 2019 tariffs. It was either 2018, 2019, but it was like June. And Wheel Pros, which owned a mega conglomerate of brands, ATD, NTW, they all raised their wheel prices on average 25%.
Yeah.
And they gave us like a
so
14-day
much.
heads up. And sales tanked, obviously.
Yeah.
Right.
And I remember
No
having
one
to-
buying that
I was like
shit.
arguing with people, the powers that be, that like it's not marketing. Like it's not, we're not doing our job. It's the price of everything
Yeah,
went
just
up.
like doubled.
And it stayed that way for like 5 weeks. And it took about 5 weeks for the audience to get like reacclimated to the new price for like things to come back to normal. 2021 happened again. Same exact time frame, took like 8 weeks that time.
Yeah.
And then I think this year, if it does happen again, I think it's going to take longer for people to get comfortable with it.
Well, yeah, because it's not like
prices are already so
yeah,
freaking
it's not like
high.
they've come down
Yeah.
at all. Like it just keeps stacking and stacking and stacking. And I get it. It sucks, dude. Like I mean,
So I guess we'll do our best to communicate that with you guys to let
Yeah.
you know. Like I know we've done that before where it's like, hey, price increases are coming, so get ready.
Yeah.
You know, this might be the best time to get.
Right.
We'll be straightforward about it. There's no hiding it. It's just part of the world. So
yeah,
Yeah, well-
we haven't heard, at least right now as a filming, we haven't heard obviously anything yet. But if it does go through, obviously we'll.
Yeah, we'll let you know. The biggest thing I learned new in the past couple of months is the pricing of wheels is no longer really determined as much by manufacturing time, because the manufacturing time of like flow formed wheels and one piece stuff has now kind of really been standardized.
Sure.
Like there's no new tech coming in.
Yeah, it's all-
Everything's flow
it's all-
formed.
everyone's doing pretty much the same thing
same.
nowadays. Yeah.
Which is why people are doing like one piece forged stuff, because that's like the new sauce. But it is aluminum price.
Yeah.
Like aluminum price has gotten so much more sensitive to factory cost. So a lot of people that are in China are actually really worried about this. If your wheels are made in China, because obviously that's where there seems to be some tariffs coming. But wheels made in Taiwan are usually exempt from some of these tariffs and discussions. And so something to keep an eye out if you really are trying to watch price, because I think that's important. If you see a wheel that's made in Taiwan, you might actually find a better deal than a wheel that's made in China.
what about in Japan?
Same thing
As
as the Taiwan.
okay,
Yep. Because a lot of like the Japanese relationship with America is pretty well locked in, mostly because the Japanese economy is so dependent upon the global economy, which is why it's so bad over there right now. But like, yeah, stage wheels are made in Taiwan. So if there is a huge tariff that came in on China, that would effectively make their wheels 25% more competitive in price.
Yeah.
So just something to keep in mind if you're interested in that. I hope it gets easier.
Yeah, I
Like-
hope so too.
Like I really do hope, because I think 24 was a hard year for a lot of people. Just in general, like affording life got really difficult out of nowhere. And I'm still not entirely sure I believe that a lot of the stuff that we're paying more money for is because the cost of it has gone up. And I just really hope some of the companies that like are just a part of our lives maybe help us out a little bit. Maybe not everything has to be so expensive. You know what I'm saying?
It'd be nice.
It'd be nice. It'd be nice, but who knows? Who knows? I do say really excited for what Continental and some of the tire companies are doing in 25. They've got some new stuff coming out. There's some new tires coming out. You know, the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S, for instance, is coming up on being 8 years old.
That's crazy.
that is
Having
wild.
That is wild to think about.
So I think the Michelin Pilot Sport 5S is going to see some some new sizes and some excitement.
I must say,
market.
5S don't have the same ring to it.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe I'm just so used to
What
Pilot
about
Sport 4S. Rolls off the tongue.
6S.
Is he 6S? I think, but they should just skip 5. Go to 6.
What about 7S?
Nah, too far. They need to make a new model at that point.
80S.
You know, I could see it.
That's Canon with their cameras. I still don't. They had the nomenclature figured out with like the T4i, T5i, T6. I knew exactly that the T7i was better than the T4i, and then they're like,
No.
the 6700, the T800i.
Canon
I'm like, what
and
the hell is happening?
BMW on the same wavelength. BMW just started throwing numbers and letters everywhere.
Yeah,
None
they
of it
did.
makes any sense.
Yeah. When they started doing like M340i, I lost it.
What does the I mean?
Fuel injection.
Because that hasn't been done since the fucking 90s.
I think
Okay, I'm getting the 2025 M2 carbureted.
Yeah. I want to be different.
There was, I think, at one point somebody was like, "Why is the I still there?" And it was a good question. I don't know if I still stands for fuel injection. I know that earlier that's what it stood for.
Sure.
Was that the model was fuel injected?
Okay, that's kind of
Shouldn't it be FI then?
too much.
It's
Too
just
much of an
injected.
acronym. That triggers me.
320.
Did you know
Inject.
that the 4S, a lot of people thought it meant for 4 seasons, and Michelin
That-
had to do a huge
I mean,
remarketing.
makes sense.
well, it's tough because they also have like the all season 4, like the AS4. Yeah, it got really weird.
Yeah, I remember.
4S, 4 Seasons.
Yeah,
4 Seasons
okay.
Orlando, baby.
Oh, shit.
Sophisticated. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
No one's talking about that anymore, though.
Michelin.
there was I remember meeting one of the marketing folks that actually helped launch the 4S, and he was talking about how much of a pain in the ass it was to like.
God, I can imagine.
They're like, yeah, we launched it. It was exciting, but then people just started to assume it was a 4-season tire, including snow, and it was not that at all. And so we had to market it, and tell our dealers that it's not a 4-season tire. It's a performance
Just
tire.
goes to show anybody can make some mistakes.
Dude, it's so wild because like you look at like these tire companies, right? And obviously their majority of their sales and market is not like us.
No.
Like the aftermarket performance side of
No,
things.
right,
Like
right.
it's a very, very small like niche group to their mass audience. I remember we went to like that Michelin trip one time and we like sat in on like the designers and engineers came out and they did like I don't want to say like a press release, but they're like, we just want to talk to the customers. What questions
Just
do you
like
have?
a presentation.
Yeah.
PowerPoint.
And it was like the wildest, just random questions that this group of people was asking. I remember it was Dakota, Max, and I were just sitting there like, what the fuck? They're like, when are you guys going to be, making the EV tire in this size? Because I just bought, this car, and you guys don't have that option in this specific tire for the EVs yet. Mm-hmm. And then the next question was like, what makes the EV tire different? And they're like, oh, we just put foam in it.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh.
Same tire, just foam. Sound deadening.
It was just wild.
Dude, there's so much EV tire drama happening right now, which it'll
All
be
it
very
is
interesting to
foam.
see. Anyway, with that being said, we're going to take a small break, but not before talking about our official sponsor of the MartiniWorks podcast, Continental Tire, Dakota.
Conti.
Let's go.
That should be it right there. That's all you need to know.
We saw the warehouse today, and a lot of people that bought wheel and tire packages for Black Friday and Cyber Monday just stacked with Contis.
Great
Proud of
choice.
you guys.
I like
You're going to
it.
love them. I promise you. I've been running the DWS06 Plus. Phenomenal tire. That's an all-season tire, and it truly means all season. I've driven that in some gnarly snow, and usually all season's not the greatest in the snow. I am very content. However, if you are just roughing it, all right, and you got some gnarly roads, and you live in probably northern Wisconsin, Canada, anywhere that gets just pummeled, I would say the Viking Contact 7 is then your option
Worth
because
the upgrade.
that tire is on another level. Okay, like that. The fact that I drove my Supra through a blizzard while it was lowered says more than I ever need to know about that tire. So that's a great option. Get them now. And then when summer is coming up, the Extreme Contact Sport 02 is your tire of choice, 100%. I haven't talked to one person that doesn't love that tire to death. So if you're interested, head over to MartiniWorks.com. Check out the rebates that are going on if they're available. If not, Continental does offer an awesome warranty on their tires that's available all the time. Learn a little bit about that. It'll blow your mind. It's really cool to see what they all offer. And a huge shout out and thank you to Continental for sponsoring the MartiniWorks podcast. All right, Alex. What tips do you have for someone modding their car in 2025?
Oof, good questions. So one of the biggest mistakes I think we've seen so far at MartiniWorks, we appreciate everybody who's buying wheels and tires and performance and coilovers and stuff from us. That's definitely a plug. But what we're noticing is sometimes folks still aren't putting together the pieces on how tires affect fitment. We've seen a couple orders either come back, or we've seen a couple folks say that they knew what they were doing and then kind of reach out to us after the fact saying, hey, I messed up. Can you take these tires back? And a lot of it has to do with section width and aspect ratio. And so we're making some changes to the website to make it easier to buy a wheel and tire package to look the right way. But one of the things that we've really noticed is people don't quite understand how an 8.5 fits on like a 225/40. And so I think one of the biggest tips I would recommend personally is if you plan on picking up a wheel and tire package and you don't quite understand section width and aspect ratio, just reach out and talk to us. We'd be happy just to kind of give you that last little check mark of, yes, that's going to sit flush, or no, that's going to poke. Because sometimes people don't get it. They just want to run the skinniest tire because they want to run a stretch setup, not really understanding that it's going to look like booty cheeks. I've seen other people say, I want a big, fat, meaty tire, and then they put a 245/50 on a 9.5. And it's like, you're going wild with that, my guy. So that's the biggest thing I would say. Outside of that, spend more time with your coilovers.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say it. Spend more time playing with your coilovers. So many people just throw them in, lower the car, and they're done with it. But the dampers on a set of BC Racing coilovers or the Fortune Auto 500 or 510 series, dude,
They do so much.
they do so much, and they make your car feel incredible. Like, I remember going on a road trip with the R34 to Wisconsin Dells, and I was driving around, and I was like, God, this is a harsh ride. Pulled off, put the hazards on, opened up the hood, softened up both sides, closed it, went on my merry
Much
way,
better.
and it was so much better. Like, people think that it doesn't make a huge difference adjusting that, and it does.
Yeah.
It makes a massive difference. So spend some time with your coilovers when you install them and actually feel it out. Like, how does it feel when you're just cruising around? If it's too tough, soften it up. Take a note of what it is. And a lot of times people will fall in love with their car. I think that's a little
I think it's a huge thing because it's like I've talked to people. You know, I've ran BC BRs on my daily for almost 3 years now, and they've been awesome. I've driven it literally across the country. I drive it all year round. I just took it up north in a ton of snow and stuff like that, and they've been great. But you know, you talk to some people, they're like, "Oh, my BCs, they felt like shit." You know, like what? You know, they'll have like nothing. It's like, well, what did you do? Like, what? You know,
Preloads cranked, max
the preloads
stiffness.
cranked, max stiffness, or you know, running on some like crazy spring rates or something like that. It's like, okay, well, you set yourself up for some failure there. Like, yeah, they're capable of so much. The reason they give you that adjustability is so you can adjust it to your liking.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, adjust it.
Yeah, I think collectively, and we talk about the people in the room too. It's like we've probably ran, 30 coilovers across all of our car platforms and different setups and things like that. And I've only had poor experience with one brand twice, but it was never BC and it was never Fortune. It wasn't ever Eibach or Olin's. It wasn't KW. And I think a lot of times people put the coilovers in and something happens where they do coilovers, wheels, and tires, and then it kind of rides like shit and they blame the coils. And it's like, it's probably not that. It's probably a combination.
Are you not going to call out the brand?
Well, I kind of feel bad, but like I personally haven't had the best experience with silvers. Like both times we've ran silvers, the first time the coilovers came, and this was back in like 2019, so there's a chance things may have definitely changed. So I don't want to knock them too bad, but like the first time the coilovers came, they came not like prepped. Like everything was loose. Like the whole coilover was super loose. And so we had to tighten everything up. And then the actual like shock was like bent a little bit. And so we had to process a return and this, that, and the other thing. But because it came from overseas and they didn't have stock, it ended up taking 8 weeks. And then there was another time where I helped somebody else put in a set of silvers, and it was a fucking disaster. It was terrible to get those things set up. Like the fitment wasn't right. I don't know if it was a top head issue. And then the third time we did assemble a set of coilovers, we put them in I think it was a Honda, and we really tried to dial in how it felt, and it just felt like it was blown out. Like the coil was just like blown from from the box. And so those are the few times I had experiences with it. It wasn't the best. Not saying you can't have a good experience with it, but I just...
Yeah, I've heard of people having good experiences with silvers. I've also ran into some issues myself. What I can say is at least when I reached out to their customer service, they were willing to replace parts I had issues with, because that's what I'm running on the Jetta currently. I have Swiss spring upgrades, but definitely had some issues with install, and then like the top hat, I had problems with shit breaking off.
And that one too, because like I remember helping you install those. It's like it's hard. It's hard to narrow that one down because I think like the Jetta suspension mounting is so fucking weird to begin with.
It is.
So it's like,
weird, yeah.
But even then, it was like, okay, if it's weird, then improve it.
Right.
You're an aftermarket option.
Yeah.
Now is the chance to
easy.
be able to make it easy. But they like went kind of the same route, and it was just all weird.
I think what we maybe briefly talked about it, and then we'll get into the tips too, but like having good customer support, I think is just as important as having a good product out of the box, because I'll say the same thing. We ran into an issue with the Fortune Autos at the track at US Air because we had these helper springs and we had all this
And we went with Heim joints too instead of normal.
And we went with Heim joints, and so we had these like little spacers, and we couldn't quite there was nothing in the instructions that helped us figure it out, you know? And
like,
so,
oh, you're going with Heim joints, you better know what you're doing.
Random parts in the box.
Yeah.
And so I was a little frustrated. Gels remembers, but we reached out to Fortune, and I mean, we were on a call in like 20 minutes to
They like
figure
video
it out.
called us. They're like, what you need?
Yeah.
So I think
And we
that's
got
important.
it sorted.
Yeah.
And now those coilovers run freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm the problem. Any tips?
Yeah, Jules, what do you got for modding a car in 2025?
Just keep it simple. And if you're not going to keep it simple, that's fine. But don't try to do it all at once. I think I've seen so many people, and I'm guilty of it too. It's like, oh, I know I want this for the car, so I'm just going to go buy it, and then I'm going to keep it, and then I'm just going to end up throwing it on beforehand anyway. And it's like, you kind of get like parts of the car that are way ahead of like other parts of the car. It's like, you go buy the big wing and you install it, but you're like stock ride height still. And it's like, okay, maybe that's like after everything. I mean, it is what it is. Eventually you'll get there, right? But it's just like, in the meantime, it looks a little bit goofy. Now, if you care about that or not, whatever. But I think, keeping it simple goes such a long way. And it's like, yeah, if you want to like eventually work your way up to something a little more crazy, by all means do that. But like right out of the gate, don't feel like you need to just go freaking balls to the walls. No matter what TikTok tells you, building a car in 6 minutes. You don't have to do that. Actually, it's very, very difficult to do that. Ask me how I know. Just take your time with it. Keep it simple. Don't overdo it. And if you want to get to that like crazy, like spec, crazy, do the wide body, the wing, the wrap, the air suspension, all that sort of stuff, by all means, work your way towards that. Don't feel like you have to get it done overnight, because when that happens, there's more than likely you're cutting corners somewhere, and more than likely you're maybe cheaping out on something down the road because you wanted to get it all at once, and you didn't want to like save up that extra couple dollars to get the thing that you really, really wanted. And it's just more times than not going to bite you in the ass.
And I think a part that gets a little bit slushy with that is like some of the fun is the journey of modifying.
Absolutely.
No, do it all at once.
Yeah.
Go crazy.
Yeah.
You do it all at once. Honestly, I get a little bit of this with the GTT. It's like, I don't know if I appreciated that time where we were filming and installing all those parts. Because now it's like, it's there and it's not. I love the car, don't get me wrong, but like, it was kind of fun, like having a project every week that we were doing something with that and seeing that transformation and being like, dude, you got to go drive it now. You got to go check it out now because it's different,
Like throwing that HKS exhaust on was just so much fun. I love exhaust installs. This is one of my favorites.
Because they're so easy and then it's like such a good change.
Yeah.
You start it up
it's
for
like,
the first time.
It's like that kind of stuff is like so much fun, and it's such in this grand scheme of things, such a small thing. But it was like that stuff. Yeah, it's awesome being able to just like, what, I have this part that I'm going to throw on this weekend, and you go out to the garage and you're not in a time crunch because it's one part. That's all you got to worry about. When you have to do an entire transformation a week before a show, you're going to fucking hate it.
Yeah. And I've done that every single time. I would say,
we still manage to do that. So, maybe we should listen to our own advice.
If you're aiming to do it well, don't try to do it fast. And if you need to do it fast, don't expect that you'll do it well. I think is just a way that a lot of times you need to look at building things.
Shop.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Nobody has that.
Yeah, unless you have, unlimited income to spend on
Well, it's like I'm still we're blessed to have this shop and to have this area and to have even the tools that we've managed to steal from Dustin. But it's like
all of them.
I'm watching people, that have millions and millions and millions of followers on like TikTok, just getting like their first like shop space, and like they're just getting their lift, and they're just getting their tool sponsor from Harbor Freight or from Napa or whoever it might be, and like they're just getting into having the capacity to do builds.
Yeah.
In a space that's like built for it. And I think a lot of times when people watch content, they forget that even some of the most popular content creators in the world, they're still doing half their shit out of their parents' garage, borrowing tools. They're still in a freezing ass, place. Like, don't get it twisted. Everybody kind of goes through that struggle. So be kind to yourself and take things at a pace that's reasonable for you, no matter what. Dakota, what do you got for a tip?
Yeah, I'd just say comparison is the thief of joy. Right now it's so easy to look at your platform, search that hashtag, and just see the most insane builds known to man on any platform too.
Yep.
It's like everybody, and it's cool, and you can get inspiration from that, but you don't need to compare yourself to that. Yeah. If you can only get, lowering springs and wheels, good on you. Enjoy it. Like we were just talking about, enjoy that process of doing it. Giles said it well too. Don't overcomplicate it. Keep it simple. You can do a lot of really clean builds with minimal parts and start out and just enjoy it for that summer, so don't feel like you gotta absolutely just completely mod the car overnight. You can just pick out parts that you enjoy, save up for them, get the right ones. Buy once, cry once has been a motto I've been using lately. It's because, like, I don't know, if you just save up and get the thing you really want, you'll be happier in the end than just like, well, I have this much and I can get this, so I'm just going to get this. Because in the back of your head, you're still going to want that thing.
Yeah, you're going to change it at some point anyway.
I think that goes into maybe a sensitive discusussion, which is like when people start to finance their car parts, right? They use a firm, or they use Catapult, or they use, PayPal or something
any
like
of those.
that. And I'll say just a final tip for building your car in 2025, like if you're going to do that, do it consciously, really understand what you're doing, because I think that's important. But if you follow the mentality of like doing it right and taking your time and being proud of where you're going and what you're doing, I don't think you'll ever abuse those tools. I think people will abuse those tools like Catapult and financing stuff when they're doing it to try and like speed up and just go and just try to get to the end result, because then you're going to end up with a huge loan, an unfinished car, lots of headaches, a little bit of panic. How am I going to pay this back? Yeah. And so I would say my last tip is don't feel bad about doing it, but just do it.
Do it
smartly. Yeah.
Do it smart. Yeah. I mean, because every one of those options can be either pretty decent or really, really bad. I mean, no matter which way you look at it. So there's plenty of options for each of those when it comes to a lot of things. Just look into it, be smart about it. But it can be a really useful. I use it all the time, in some other hobbies and aspects. But it's can be good, can be a little scary.
I got one more thing. Do one thing with your car this year that you've never done. Yes. Whether it's like taking it to a local track, and having a track day. Maybe it's a local autocross event. Maybe it's a drag strip event, or maybe it's a car show you've always wanted to go to but haven't made it. Just one goal, and take your car to do that thing. You're going to enjoy the car so much other than modding it. Just take it to that thing. Even if your car isn't, let's say it's not ready to be in the show, take it to the show, park outside, go enjoy the show, and enjoy the roads around it and the cruising and stuff for that. Yeah. Or try something, even if you're nervous to do it, like drag racing or autocrossing. I know it's intimidating the first time. Everyone there is willing to help you, and everyone there has been there their first time, so they get it. And I think that's why they want to help so much, because everyone knows when you go on your first day, you're a little bit nervous, you're going to fuck shit up, you're not going to have great times. That's okay, because you're going to have a great time. So go try out that new thing, because you will. That's what's really going to make you enjoy your car too.
100%. I actually did that with the RX-8 this last summer here. They're small town up north of here. They did like a Wings and Wheels event. So it's at like a municipal airport. It's in like really small like town, like north up kind of near the UP border. And we got invited to go up there, and it's apparently been doing that for like a long time. It's a big like town festival. It's everything going on. But we showed up. I'm like, we're gonna bring the RX-8, and I had figured, it's gonna be more like classic car. It was all classic car, like some of the oldest shit that I've ever seen. There's tractor show, like within this like old car show, and I'm showing up with this bagged wide body Mazda from 2004. I'm like, man, what the fuck? And I'm parking in a field. There's literally a monster truck doing like ride-alongs out in the back 40. And people loved it. And it was so cool to see that because, like, we were checking out their old stuff and they had questions about, the RX-8. And it was just super cool. And it's like, I would have never maybe gone to that, but we did. And it was really fun.
When you guys do that one thing, when you achieve it, shoot us a message on Instagram
Yes.
at MartiniWorks and let us know what it was because we always love reading that stuff. And so whatever it is, no matter if it's 6 months from now or 2 days from now, share that with us. We love hearing those stories, and we hope that we can be a small part of that, whether you're looking for car parts. You can modify your car, MartiniWorks.com, and if you need help along the way, we're happy to help. Simple as that.
I smell orange chicken.
Well, that would be our lunch.
Oh, shit.
Guys, the only time you can get Dakota and Gels to focus and not speak some dumb shit is when there's food emanating in the room. It's like,
I'm a simple man.
Dakota told me it was either McRibs or king crab for lunch today. So we met in the middle and I got him panda.
I'll take it.
I'm going to go get a McRib. I'm just kidding. Me and Gels have a tradition of, like, McRibs suck and they're overpriced, but we just feel obligated to go get McRibs on Monday. So if you guys ever want to celebrate McRib Monday, just know me and Gels are out there somewhere in Wisconsin eating a McRib as well.
Tag us in your McRib Mondays.
There
Please tag me in your McRib Monday.
One person's got to do it.
There's not. I think one of like the most exciting odd times of ever having only Dakota and I in a vehicle was back when we worked at my house and we had to go somewhere, and on the way back Dakota just like fucking straight face just like turns and he's like, hey, I got a question. And I was like, yeah. He's like, can you stop at McDonald's for lunch? And I was like, sure. He's like, I just need to get a McRib. And I'm like,
just come out.
and I'm
This
like,
ain't an ad. They're not good.
and I'm like,
insanely overpriced.
I'm like, this is oddly a specific request. Sure. So we go and we park and we go and he goes, hey, really quick, before we go in, can you take a picture? I'm like, what the fuck am I doing right now? I'm like, what is happening? He goes, it's just a tradition. And he goes over to like the poster of the McRib sandwich and he's like,
It's back. Yeah. I remember that. I still have that photo.
To be fair, we got fucking lied to. They said they were never bringing it back 1 year, and then they just
keep bringing it back.
the worst part about it is that I remember buying one to try it with you guys.
Oh, yeah. I can't believe we got you to get one.
I felt betrayed every $1.70.
You shouldn't be, though, because I was very clear. You asked. You're like, is it like super good? I was like, no, it's not.
It's decent.
The Quick Trip, I don't know if you guys that are listening all have Quick Trips. If you do, the pork rib sandwiches there, better. Cheaper and better.
Like $1.30 on Tuesdays.
But still got to get a McRib on McRib Monday.
Yeah.
With that being said, we are gonna take a small break, but not before talking about our sponsor for the MartiniWorks podcast, which is Fortune Auto. If you guys and gals have been looking for a quality custom coilover, they're made to order. Fortune Auto's got you. One of the cool things, they just launched a off-road series line. They're really getting into the overland side of things, specifically focusing Lexus, Toyota, things like that. And so if you have one, I notice a lot of people have a tendency to have those if they're a car person. Go check them out. It's a new off-road line. Super cool. Still got the dampers, the digressive piston technology, which is what makes it nice and soft when you're slowly rolling around town, but then also nice and firm if you're running around track. And it's really exciting stuff. So we're really happy to see the Fortune Auto team continuing to thrive and try new things, and we're very proud of having them as a partner. Products are absolutely fantastic. You know this. And if you have any questions about maybe building your own set of coilovers with your own custom spring rates, maybe even Swift springs, shoot us a message over at MartiniWorks.com. We'd be happy to help you out. All right, we're into breaking news. First things first, the Jag is
More update.
back.
Say it right.
Jag.
No, say it right.
Jaguar.
Better.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Here's the prototype. You like it? Do you like it?
Fuck is that?
Do you like it? Do you like it? Do you like it? Hey.
That's an air conditioning unit.
Hey. No. Look at the side. You like it now, Squidward?
Let me see. Show me a
Yeah,
side.
you
Why
like
is there a window cover?
You like it? You like it?
Honestly, The rear's weird. The side profile looks kind of sick though. Looks like a Hot Wheels car.
Yeah.
Looks like a typical concept car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just big and square with 28-inch wheels.
And
Yeah.
won't be produced like that.
Yep.
I'm not.
And the
too-
slimmest headlights ever that
Always.
aren't legal.
Always.
Honestly, the inside has door handles like 2007 Ferrari F430, in case you're wondering. Same little latch that goes up. Anyway, not a huge fan. But I'm excited for them to hopefully figure out why their car is Pantone pink and gold.
Yeah.
In other news, Stancy Pants is back. Anything you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, he did that stupid post.
Stupid pose.
Yeah, he's back.
Oh.
He back.
Did you not see him?
He's been back. I feel like he's...
Well, yeah, but he
He's done
posted
him, yeah.
officially. Yeah, it's a little bit old now, but
All right.
Good
Well,
for him.
good luck.
yeah,
Best of luck, dude.
have fun.
All I ever wanted was a black Grand National. Do you think Grand National prices have gone up in price since Kendrick Lamar
%.
started
There's
talking?
no
about
way.
it.
There's no way that there hasn't been a surge in Grand National sales.
GNX to the moon.
All I ever wanted was a black Grand National.
Yeah.
Fuck being rational.
Okay. Careful.
Give
we're
them
gonna
what
get
they asked for.
demonetized.
Mustard!
That's what I asked for.
Let's see what else is going on. We got more companies saying they don't. Oh, I got a good one.
Okay.
Did you see BMW made an M3 GTR from Most Wanted?
I did.
Dude,
It was
this
fucking
thing looks
sick.
sick.
Yes, I did see that. Yeah, absolutely
It's
gorgeous.
so sick.
I don't know what the marketing budget is from BMW, but whatever it is,
The perfect
it's
amount.
perfect. You guys are
So sick.
killing it. Every time I go out, I'm like, please, some random brand, give me hope that not all is lost to terrible designs and funky ass displays. And then BMW is like, hey, we still got it. Every once in a while, we still got it. Just don't look past the M5.
Okay.
And we got it.
I like it. I'm happy for BMW.
Dude, those things are so sick. It's such a cool car.
BMW should just give Toyota an engine.
And put it in like a iconic car there.
Yes.
Yes.
News
something
on that?
something nice.
Or do you think
though.
people would be mad about that?
I don't know. I mean, maybe it might be a little split down the middle. I'm not sure.
Final edition Supra rumors.
Yeah.
That's
Saw it.
breaking news.
Lots of power, little wang.
It looks fucking gorgeous. I think
looks
it
good.
looks amazing. But from what I've read, I think all of it's rumors right now, but only available in Europe and Japan.
Of course.
Why do they always do that shit to us? Why? Does every country outside of the United States hate the United States? Is that it?
1945.
I'm pretty surprised.
That's all I'll say.
I'm pretty surprised that such a limited car would not be available in the United States, or it's only available in Europe and Japan, but they're building it.
Like,
to
why
be
Europe?
importable?
Well,
into
BMW,
the
I guess that
States.
makes sense.
Idiot.
So they're like, okay, you guys
All right,
helped.
you guys can get one.
You helped. All right.
America, you didn't do shit.
Fuck. I want it. I still wouldn't get it. If it was here, it's probably going to be like fucking 80 grand.
Yeah,
or some
it's gonna
shit.
be some insane.
In typical like GR Corolla, 86 Trueno,
Yeah.
like all those special edition versions that are like.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like the final edition usually those are a little more sought after, unless it's an Evo 10, because then they like
They
did
took the Recaros out.
yeah, they did a downgrade to that. It was weird.
Mitsubishi just used whatever they had left in the shop.
They're like, yeah, it's the last
these are
one.
the last.
we got 16 seats left. Guess we're making 8 cars.
Fucking Lancer seats in it.
Yeah, sounds like talks of like a Mark 6 in production though, with possibly a Toyota actually branded engine and built engine.
Okay,
Who
first
knows?
off, that's not going to happen.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think that's gonna happen?
No, because Toyota still does not like taking risks that big by themselves.
What if it's
They
like a hybrid?
I bet you it's that whole hydrogen. What was it? Hydrogen powered partnership that they have with BMW and Toyota.
That'd be so weird though,
They
because
have
like
extended to 2028.
their stints with the Supras, like I feel like they weren't all back to back to back. Like it would be a while before,
Yeah.
I bet you they go away from it for a couple years.
at least.
Yeah, I think too, because they always took like a break in between.
I think the Supra is a fantastic car. It still
Absolutely.
is like one of the top 5 cars, I would say, like today's day and age of wanting something newer that can just
I
perform.
want the final edition.
You don't get the final edition. We have the final edition at home.
Mine.
Yeah, with the Street Hunter's wing.
Street Hunters. Yeah, with the Street Hunters wing on the back.
Some people, this is a
Skim
question for you
people.
guys. The reason some cars are having a huge sales slump isn't because people don't want them. It's because the target audience can't afford them.
No shit. No. Nuh-uh.
Interest
Nuh-uh.
rates coming down.
Everyone got $80,000 to go buy a new SUV or truck. That's all that's
Everybody-
available.
Everybody's got $50,000 for a new car.
Right.
I feel like all new cars like start at 50. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
I know there's some cheaper, but it just feels like every new car starts at 50.
It was funny talking to my mom. She's looking at getting like a new truck or whatever, and she's like, "I just can't find a good deal on one." I'm like, "Mom, you can't buy a $40,000 truck anymore." And she's like, "Well, all I want is a brand new Dodge Ram 1500. That's all I want." I'm like, "Yeah, Mom, they're not $40,000 anymore." Well, I'm just waiting. She's like, "Man, this is the longest I've owned this truck. Like, I always trade it in every like 4 years or so for the new one." And she's like,
Maybe they'll have something for the December to remember clam chowder sales event at Dodge.
Dude, the one thing I'll
"That
say,
sounds lit."
the one thing I'll say is Becca and I were looking at like just any sort of specials or like lease offerings, and I see why everybody just fucking goes and leases a Hyundai or Kia.
Yeah, I understand that.
It's
now.
insane. I was looking at every dealership Bergstrom owns in this tiny little town.
Ooh.
And the only ones that had like some decent programs were like Hyundai, Kia, a little bit of Nissan, and Mazda.
in a Kia.
Like Mazda's got a cool one for their like CX-30, but it's just too
Yeah.
small.
I get the lease stuff, especially if it's like for a daily or something. It's like that does make a little more sense now that I'm a little bit older and look at it. It's like if I just need something to fucking get me places and it's not 20 years old and still overpriced, I totally get it. Because they do run some insane.
Yeah, it's like
There's
Like the
some
only
circumstances
the only
that
things that'll like kind of get you is you usually have to put like a hefty down payment on it or something.
yeah, it's like $249 a month.
Sometimes though they'll even like do your oil changes and shit.
Yeah, it's like all
because they
taken
want you
care
to
of for
service
it,
it,
yeah.
which is kind of appealing. But I don't know. I'm not in that lease boat yet. Not
Hey.
interested.
Family, man. It said, I just want to get back to real street racing, practical stunts, and a reunion of that beautiful brotherhood for his next Fast and Furious movie.
Dude, I wish so bad they would do like they won't though anymore. It's too mainstream.
Yeah.
If they went and just did like the first 3 Fast and Furious style movie now, I feel like it would do such worse numbers financially.
Right.
All of us would love it. And I'm not saying that. Car enthusiasts would absolutely love it. When who knows, maybe we'd be like, this is the best one ever.
Yeah.
But the general public wouldn't go watch it, or if they watch it, they'd be like, what the hell is this?
I feel like
And then their numbers don't look good because it didn't bring in as much money.
the thing is, I feel like it made sense for that, right? It's like because you look back, the early 2000s, what was going on in like the car scene and stuff like that, like the movies made sense. Like it actually adapted to that really well. What the fuck would it be now? Like
gonna
they would
do
almost have to go.
Street takeovers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I would worry that it would be like that style, and it's like, ugh, I don't know. Like they would almost have to like go back and be like, we're gonna do like a period movie like in 2002. Where it's not modern. We're gonna go back.
See, I think that's the answer. Is like so many people, especially in like movies, have like built this Pandora's box that they kind of just like swirl into and get like stuck in. Till eventually you can't like do anything about it. Like the story, the world is just too built.
Sure.
And so what I've noticed a lot of companies doing, like Dune has done it, where it's like, we're just gonna make a prequel.
Yeah.
How early? 10,000 years. Can't fuck that one up because there's literally 10,000 years between this series and the first
Dude,
movie.
hear me out. They do a prequel explaining before Brian showed up as a cop, because Brian can't anymore. Vin Diesel and Letty and
Coming together.
Yeah, all of
Yeah.
what's the Jedi guy's name?
Jesse.
Show them in their shop beforehand. Like that'd be sick.
That'd be
And use all those early 2000s cars, 90s cars and that. Oh
would be
my God. I want to see Vin Diesel build his RX-7. I would love to watch a movie about that. That'd be sick.
Even like-
why the fuck did he have an RX-7? It completely goes against every character trait that guy has. I want to know that story. Did he win the car? What was it?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Or like they never did anything in Europe before everything got wild. Like it'd be cool if like one of the characters that was in one of the like earlier movies like came from Europe and it like had his come up story. Cause like the thing that works so well for Tokyo Drift is again, it was far enough away from anything that was happening. You could have put that movie anywhere in the goddamn saga and they probably could have made it work with some like script.
Yeah.
Like just do that in a different area and then a different area and then a
and-
differand different area. Like Gal Gadot, like how did she
that
come
was
up to be?
a
they did
whole
it
new
with-
cast too. It's like I feel like you can still do that.
Didn't they do that with like Cuba or where was it? They did
Brazil?
another country.
Brazil.
So it was like the first one obviously was the first one out in California. The second one, still a lot of new cast. Paul Walker was the only same one, but it was all brand new cast in Miami. The third one, completely new cast, completely new director, like all that sort of stuff in Tokyo. It's like that's why I feel like those first three are so good. Is because like they were related in a way, like it was like, you know, what it was about, but it was a completely different storyline separated from each other until they tried to force it all together.
It's kind of like this growing problem where it's like people don't die in modern movies for some reason because like everybody's too afraid because they're too scared that like, oh, that person could make us a lot of money. We're gonna bring them back to life.
They always live.
Yeah.
Dude, like they saw that and they're like, this guy is a money maker for us, and he's an awesome dude. But it's like that, you know, I hate that. There's no risk. You know how the movie's gonna end.
Right.
Vin Diesel's gonna yell family. He's gonna lift up like a tank door. He's gonna block a ballistic missile, and then he's gonna pull out a revolver and he's gonna shoot John Cena from like a mile away with his sunglasses on.
They can't fit any more wrestlers in that fucking movie series.
The sets aren't big enough.
My God.
I was on a flight and I watched like 11, I think it was. I was like, I just have to watch it. Dude, that is a skimmable movie. It is a skimmable movie. I was literally going and just jumping from scene to scene to scene until
like, got it.
until I got to the end when like the bad guy or the good guy turned out to be a bad guy and he's standing on this huge mountain and he's got a rocket launcher and I'm like,
spoiler alert.
he's jumping off like a Hoover Dam with a car. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's not about cars at all anymore. I haven't even watched I think the last 2 or 3
I haven't
most recent movies.
I haven't watched after 7.
I haven't even fucking watched.
7 was the end.
Yeah.
5 is where it should have been done.
I feel like was 7 even good?
7 was it was okay. I like 7 because they kind of like wrapped everything up. It was like when Paul passed away, they kind of like wrapped everything up. It was a nice tribute. They ended it, right? It was over.
Yeah. They were home, everybody was happy.
Canon ending.
Family there.
Yeah. And then you hear the music.
John Cena enters the chat.
Yeah. It's just I don't know.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson's like, "No. I got this movie series."
The best part is after every movie from the Fast and Furious series drops, there's always some fucking bro drama that drops like a month later.
Yeah, it's like they actually hated each other.
Yeah, right. Tyrese Gibson hates John Cena.
Yeah.
Like John
Cena.
I
don't blame them. What fucking movies are they making?
Just a bunch of dudes with just an insane amount of testosterone in the same like 30 by 30 foot square green screen room.
Ludacris just like, I just want my afro back.
Yeah, for real, dude. Tyrese went from like convertible 3G Eclipses to like fucking riding on the back of Optimus Prime shooting missiles and rocket launchers.
Defusing
I'd be a little
nukes.
pissed too.
Like, where the fuck am I?
What'd I sign up for? Probably stunt double has to do 90% of the movies. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I never even thought of that aspect with how much action's in those movies. Those guys are on screen probably like a third of the time. My God.
They use me for Vin Diesel's stunts, actually.
I can see why.
Somebody goes, they went from regular street racing to fighting nuclear submarines with cars.
Yep.
Next one, they probably have to fight Godzilla with cars.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
the
could
whole joke of them like, oh, we're going to go to space, and then they actually fucking made
And then they
car
did
and
it.
went to space.
Vin
The
Diesel.
thing was, they could probably get away with it a little bit more if they just used fucking cool cars rather than just like exotics and tanks.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like keep the tuner aspect of it and do your little goofy wrestling moves.
Okay. Anyway.
Use John Cena's Type R.
That was Fast and Furious fucking rant there for a minute.
Yeah, it was. I got it out now.
John Cena does have a Type R.
He does.
He does.
So
I got a
does
few.
Cody Walker.
I got a few things for you. Okay.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Bugatti owners are averaging $500,000 per car in options.
That's disgusting. Next.
$500,000 in options.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Next up, feds refuse to hit the brakes on automated braking systems.
What does that mean?
So, I mean, you know what automated braking systems are?
Abs.
The ones that will brake for you.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of wish people fucking had that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, wait a minute.
It's causing a little bit of a ruckus because nobody likes being told what to do.
Well, they need it. People need that.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yes.
The one thing I hate is I'll drive Dustin's Jeep, and it's got that system in it. and I'll be backing
It is
up,
a little aggressive.
and it randomly does it.
That's sketch.
Like random, and I think it's because the sensor's dirty.
I get why it's like annoying and people are hesitant about it. Because I drove that too. I don't know if it's just his or what, but like you'll drive and it's like it'll just detect someone. It's like and it's like Jesus Christ,
And all the shit just gets thrown to the front of the goddamn truck.
Well, fuck it. You didn't hit anything.
True. Wasn't gonna.
Never know.
Some people needed them.
This will make you happy.
Happy.
Volkswagen is planning a major design overhaul with more buttons.
That's good.
More buttons.
That's good. I think that's the general consensus now. We talked about this already. We want tactical, not
I want feedback.
touch screen.
Pew, pew. Oh, sorry. Wrong.
Because I can't be looking at that shit. I just want to be able to reach over them.
Yep.
It is kind of weird to me because I've tried using like the voice systems in cars.
Sure.
They still kind of feel a little...
What do you mean?
They all suck.
Give me an example of you using it. Pretend, role play right now that you're using that in the car.
Ba-ding. Call Becca.
Oh.
And it'd be like 4 seconds pause. And I'd be like,
Haven't they had that for like 15 years?
calling Barnes and Noble local business. No. And I'm like, no, cancel.
They're like, hello?
Hello?
Cancel
No,
OnStar
cancel.
subscription.
Hi, Barnes and Noble. Me again. Alex?
Can you just put my wife on, please?
Yeah. Okay, we'll forward you to your wife.
How is like ChatGPT able to like respond and answer and speed through like a fucking wild onslaught of information, but that voice tool is still the most garbage ass. It's the same thing with Alexa. Like I will do, hey Alexa, what's the temperature outside? And it's like, ba-dum. Sorry, I can't do that. Alexa, what did you think I said? Sorry, I don't know. What?
I thought you were going to be like, ba-dum, change the thermostat to 54 degrees and turn the AC on my face off and keep it on my feet. That's what I thought he was going with it.
Oh, okay.
The call feature has been available like since a cell phone was
And
created.
it still sucks.
And it still sucks.
It still sucks.
My problem is still there. We can't get to problem 2 without solving problem 1. Which, by the way,
I just don't call people.
after this whole Cyber Monday, Black Friday debacle,
Yeah.
this is a non-car related topic, but I do have to say this is important. I've been looking at more Govee lights because you guys use ours like fucking lightsabers. And
Never once. I wish I could have, but never once.
I was looking at them, and there was one for $40, and then there was one for $65. I was like, wow, that's interesting. Why is one $25 more? They're introducing something called like a master standard for smart equipped things in your house.
Master Chief?
So that now you don't have to get something that's like Alexa built, Google built, Siri built, this, but because they all have their own little tools.
right.
Yep.
Now they've like standardized it with one. And if it meets that criteria,
their
it
name?
meets all the criteria. I think it's
Cortana.
literally like master. Like it's called like master certified or something like that.
So now you have to refer to your light as
No.
Master, please turn blue.
No,
I didn't understand that.
Now you don't have to go
Bow
through,
down.
You don't have to go through 5 or 6 operating systems.
You go through one.
Just one.
If anyone gets that, they're goated. If anyone out there understands that reference.
I don't need lights. They disappoint me.
Here, I'm gonna bring it up because now I just got to make sure that this is right.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Master, turn the lights red. I did not understand that.
Here's yellow.
Turning lights. Red and blue flashing. I called the police.
Stop.
Master, no.
Oh, it's not master. It's matter.
Matter. Okay. Well, close.
That was one letter off.
That wasn't your worst mistake.
Oh, that was terrible. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed the MartiniWorks podcast. Of course, if you guys are looking for car parts, even as we get off of Cyber Monday, Black Friday, we still got the lowest prices on everything you could possibly imagine. Plus, we can help you mount and balance wheels and tires together. We can ship them to you, so you got to do is throw them on. We'd love to have your support. So if you guys are looking for anything, check it out over at MartiniWorks.com. If you're looking for more content, check out the main channel and the Unbox channel. And, of course, we appreciate you guys so much for listening. Dakota, anything else?
Master, end podcast.
Beep.